Hello mortals, I am the goddess who created the text world of Listernia, and today I am going to do a tag. No one tagged me on this, but I found this tag that I thought was really fun, and I wanted to tag Pints Paperbacks because he's been tagging me an awful lot, which I appreciate, but I want to return the favor. Anyway, I thought this was a really fun tag because it's called the Rapid Fire Book Tag. So I've written down the prompts. I haven't really looked at it too closely, and I know I saw one of the videos last week and I thought it was really fun because you read these either or statements and then you do a rapid fast answer, and I suck at rapid fast answers, but this should be fun. Okay, so here we go. Ebook or physical book? For me, ebooks are the king. I used to be a real snob about physical books and I stayed away from ebooks, but if you care about your carbon footprint, they are a little better environmentally. Plus, I love that they're easy to transport because I always used to have a paperback shoved in my pocket, and people would literally roll their eyes when they saw me with this big huge paperback stuffed in my pocket. But now Kindles, I use a Kindle, they're easy to transport, and because my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, making the font larger is really a lifesaver. Plus you can read at night because it lights up. I adore ebooks now, although I appreciate a physical book now and then. Paperback or hardback? Always paperbacks. Hardbacks, because I read a lot when I travel, I don't like carrying around a big bulky hardback. So when I did have physical books and I did carry them around, it was always pocket paperback sized books that I can stick in my pocket. Can I be more redundant? I don't think so. Online or in-store book shopping? Well, since I went to the Kindle, I do most of my shopping online now. And there just aren't that many bookstores anymore. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. There used to be tons of bookstores, but most of them have closed. There's a couple still open, but they're not that easy for me to get to. I used to go, like at work, every day at work on my lunch break, I would go to a bookstore. I would go to a place called Stacy's, but Stacy's closed, so online for me. Trilogies or series? I love trilogies. I think Tolkien set the precedent for trilogies when I see a trilogy, and if I can buy them all at once, I'll do that. I think trilogies is really the sweet spot. Heroes or villains? I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm not very rapid fire, am I? I'm gonna say villains, just because they're more interesting. I know there's this one book called Empress by Karen Miller, who, if you want to see a point of view from a villain, this isn't even an anti-hero. The main character is a villain. And in Disney, they always have the best song. So, the villains.
Come on, you poor unfortunate soul! Go ahead, make your choice.
The book you want everyone to read. I guess Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings sort of started the entire fantasy trope, at least making it popular, and I think it holds up. It's one of my favorite books, one of the few books I've read multiple times. And yeah, check out Lord of the Rings if you haven't already. Recommend an underrated book. Oh shoot, I should have written something down. But these are supposed to be rapid fire. Underrated book. Think. Underrated. Oh, I know. There's this book I read when I was a teenager, and it's called Babel to the 100th Power by Alfred Bester. And everyone knows, like, Demolished Man for Alfred Bester. But this book came out and I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was like, it blew my mind. I think there was like illustrations. It was very experimental writing. And I was thinking about doing a booktube video on it, but it wasn't on Kindle. And it's hard to find. And the reviews on Goodreads say it suck. So I'm second guessing myself. Did I read a book that was really terrible, and for whatever angsty reason or pretentious reason, I thought it was a fabulous book? But it's called Gulliver to the 100th Power. I just want someone else to read it just to tell me if I'm crazy or not, if this was actually a fantastic book or our book that sucked. The last book you finished was Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son, his name is Joe King, but he writes under the pseudonym Joe Hill, and it is a pretty good horror novel if you're into horror novels. The last book you bought, it's probably for the Book Junkie trials. It's probably Burr by Gore Vidal. It's for the Book Junkie trials, and I got it for one of the challenges. And it's a historical fiction. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark. I used to tear pieces of newspaper if I didn't have a bookmark and use that as a bookmark. It's not very weird, but it's the only thing I can think of. Used books, yes or no? No, do not buy used books. Unless, let me put a caveat here. If you can't afford new books, then don't break the bank. But if you can afford it, support your author, and especially if it's a mid-list author, and buy the damn book new. That's the way they make money. That's the way we can support them. I've always bought new books, except if a book is out of print, or if there was a financial reason, then yeah, go to the library or go to a used bookstore, browse around. There's some great finds in used bookstores. But I'm a strong believer in buying your books new, because it's the only way you can support the author. Top 3 favorite genres? Well, fantasy, science fiction, horror. Kill surprise. Borrow or buy. Once again, if you want to support your authors, buy the book. If you're looking for an out-of-print book, or if you can't afford to buy a book, then borrow away. Characters or plot? Characters or plot? I guess I'd have to say plot. I mean, characters you don't... It's really hard, because if you don't like a character, you don't connect with the characters, the plot isn't going to save the book. But if the characters are okay, I'll probably still finish it, because if the plot is good, because I do enjoy a good technical plot. Long or short books? Long books all the way. I used to buy books based on their thickness. The thicker they are, the more chance I will buy it. And yes, you can call me a size queen if you wish. Long or short chapters? Oh, short chapters. Yeah, I like a short chapter. That picks up the pacing and makes the book go faster if it's done well. Oh, I forget that one author. He used to every chapter just used to be like 1 or 2 pages, but short chapters. Name the first 3 books you think of. Nosferatu, because I just mentioned it. Lord of the Rings, because I just mentioned it. The first 3 books. Narnia, just because it just popped into my mind. As in the Chronicles of. As in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Okay. Books that make you laugh or cry. Probably laugh. If you came up to me and said, do you want to read a sad book or a funny book? I would probably say a funny book. Our world or fictional world? Fictional worlds, are you kidding me? Audiobooks, yes or no? No for me. I just haven't been able to do audiobooks. I've tried a free trial before and I get distracted and lose track. And I know some people do audiobooks and as they're reading along with a physical book. I haven't tried that. That seems a little more up my alley, but no for me. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? Of course, I judge a book by its cover. I've gotten some dogs of a book because it has a pretty cover, but
Priory of the Orange Tree I got for the cover, and the book. Sorry.
book to movie or book to TV adaptations? I guess book to TV adaptation. I mean, ever since Game of Thrones, it's really shown that you can successfully do a TV series. Plus, TV series allows a lot more time to actually tell the full story rather than making sacrifices to cram the story into 1.5 hours. Pre-Game of Thrones, I may have said movies. A movie or TV show you prefer to its book. This is going to be obscure for most of you. There is a movie called Travels with My Aunt. And it stars Maggie Smith, Downton Abbey's Maggie Smith, but this was when she was in her prime. And I loved this movie so much.
Travels with My Aunt, starring Academy Award winner Maggie Smith in a stunning new performance as the indomitable Aunt Augusta.
Tell me, Henry, what do you actually do at the bank?
Oh, well, I'm the man with all the keys.
Oh, then you could rob the bank.
Yes, of course.
Here is the story of a fabulous dame who brought style, class, grace, and beauty to smuggling, hustling, gambling, and swindling.
£50,000. My man in Paris will exchange them for dollars.
Paris? But, well, I'm not accustomed to foreign travel. Well, my dahlias.
Pack, Henry.
Pack.
It's kind of a anti-Mame on acid. I love the movie so much that I went and bought the book, Travels with My Aunt by Graham Greene, and I hated the book. Series are standalones, of course. Series! So who am I going to tag? Of course I am tagging Pints and Paperbacks. I think you'll have a lot of fun drinking its pint and trying to answer these questions rapid fire. And I will also tag Dominic from Reading Fandom. He puts a lot of work in editing his videos. I'm not sure why he's not more popular, but check him out. And With Cinnamon Please. I like her a lot. She's very personal and genuine. So that's it for the